Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse. Today, Wednesday, August 20th, 2025. Now, what can we say except that yesterday, a rare civil case, we covered, it's the case in which a man is suing for having written the screenplay, he says, of Top Gun Maverick, Sean Gray. But the argument yesterday in front of Judge Jed S. Rakoff, always entertaining, was about whether Paramount, the defendant in the case, can get the communications between Gray and the Writers Guild of America West. Writers Guild of America West appeared by phone and said that this is essentially like attorney-client privilege, that it's members. The only problem is that he's actually suing, I think, a relative of his who has the screenwriting credit. So they ended up saying, we're not going to pursue your case. Maybe Paramount wants that because they assume that that'll show the court or the jury, ultimately, if it comes to that, that he doesn't have a case. But Judge Rakoff said there's this Upjohn precedent about employers being able to tell their employees about privilege, and that it might apply here or it might not, it might have to be extended. He said, as a so-called inferior court, I do like to stretch my wings. So we'll be following that one. That was supposed to be followed also before Judge Rakoff by a guy called Rinch, who's charged criminally with defrauding Netflix. This is a civil day here, of $11 million. But that timing was switched from 4 to 12, and we still don't really know what happened. They flew him in on the public dime. Despite having taken this $11 million, he doesn't have money to $250 to fly to New York. So the marshals facilitated his travel. Maybe that's why he had to come in earlier. We don't really know. Now, there's a lot of foreign cases. Yesterday we covered the second part of the sentencing of a Colombian drug dealer. He says he's an indigenous activist. He got 150 months, and much of his submissions are redacted. We've written all about it. Jaramillo, you can check it out. There's also the Ghanaian fraudsters. They were extradited in, Boateng et al. But two of them have the same lawyers as another Ghanaian fraudster we covered, and I call her fraudster because she was actually guilty, served time, and then went back to Ghana. Mona Montrage. They're saying it's not a conflict. I don't see how it would be a conflict unless they're all engaged in the same. It's a big country. It's not like all Ghanaians are working together. So there's that. Meanwhile, in the UN Dispute Tribunal in Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya, Antonio Guterres' lawyer is a liar. This is according to the court itself. The court said he totally misled them about some selection panel. But they're going to refer him to Antonio Guterres. He's Antonio Guterres' lawyer. Guterres is responsible for the lies. Meanwhile, Guterres hasn't been seen in New York during all of this Ukraine and Gaza advocacy. He's just flitting around. He's in Japan. Japan is one country that will treat him with respect because they still think they're going to get a Security Council seat. Probably not, given that China has a veto. And also, Guterres has no juice over that. But he likes to go where they'll praise him because he can't handle criticism. In fact, investigative Inner City Press, he had physically roughed up and thrown out, and his charge of accreditation, Melissa Fleming, hasn't answered letters from law firms, Dwayne Morris among them, Quinn Emanuel, and also hasn't responded to the June 19th application to cover the upcoming General Assembly. It's a litmus test. And we're going to pursue it to the end. But today, we're back in covering a number of cases, including some in the state court, on which we will be reporting online. Inner City Press, to be continued.